Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. I'm your host, Sara Jones. For this episode, I checked out Cathedral Park under St. John's Bridge on a very cold, windy, and rainy night with Portland comedian, the very funny and very goofy Stephen Wilber. If you're not from Portland, you need to look up a picture of St. John's Bridge. It is absolutely gorgeous and haunted, it turns out. If you want, check out our Instagram at LitDark Podcast and take a look at some of the photos that we took while we were down there. So before we jump into this episode, just a little bit of background. So I was planning on going on a Tinder date after I got done recording this episode because nothing bad ever comes of that. The Tinder guy ended up calling me while we were recording and we ended up having some fun with him. Luckily, Stephen only said his full name 3 times, so it's been my producer's absolute delight to bleep out his last name every single fucking time. So here it is. Enjoy the show.
Oh God. I'm glad we're waiting until it's actually dark-ish and spooky.
Spooky, this is the most common place that everyone goes to.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably find some people down there.
Ladies
Maybe not.
looking at water.
Hopefully, if we're lucky. The same one. Like, what?
Why didn't you try to talk to her?
Because she didn't know we were there. I was like, hi, as I walked by, and she didn't see me.
Hey, lady.
I was like, hey, bitch.
Hey. Where you
I was
gonna
like,
be
move,
later?
bitch, get out the way. Yeah, I was definitely hitting on her.
Ho. Just sang all ludicrous songs to her. What in the world's in that bag? What you got in that bag?
And she's like, none of your goddamn business. And I was like, okay, Jesus. Good, collect all the rainwater in the umbrella, and that way when we use it, it'll be like, we're just outside.
No, we are outside.
Yeah, but it'll be even more like that.
I mean, it's just conserving water. Have you ever had fresh rainwater right from the source?
No.
Right from God's teat to your mouth? It's
I haven't.
I don't want to be hyperbolic, but it is orgasmic.
Literally. Oh my God.
Don't even try it right now. You'll be writhing on the ground. Like a baby that has been teleported out of the womb.
Exactly.
Writhing on the ground. Where am I? What is this life?
Yeah. And they were like, good luck.
And then the mom's like, what about my baby? My baby, where's my baby? And then the wizard's like, ha 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 ha, then vanishes himself.
Yeah.
What a
everyone's
weird
had that happen to them. Do you want to do the episode?
Nah.
Not really.
Hard pass.
I actually got to get going. How long was this going to take? Yeah, I got to go. There's a car there.
Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck?
That's a ghost.
For the listeners, there is a car over there with its headlights on. I know it's important to describe things more as we're going through this.
I really need help with that, so help me out with that.
I think a late model Mercedes.
Wait, we're on the train tracks.
We're on the train tracks. We are currently on the right side of the tracks.
But we're about to cross into the wrong side.
There are 2 Caucasian gentlemen.
Okay, we gotta go that way, because I think that's the way into Cathedral Park.
Jiminy crackers. Okay. Okay, we are under the St. John's Bridge, the one bridge in Portland, Oregon.
The only bridge.
It is raining, and by raining I mean precipitating. There are ducks, 2, in fact.
Give them their privacy.
They're swimming away from us.
We don't have a release. They haven't signed a release. We can't talk about the ducks. Okay, where should we sit so I can tell you something terrible about this location? Yeah, we can't sit.
No, let's sit. No, let's do it. Let's
Really?
get pneumonia. Let's sitting on the dock of the St. John's Bridge.
Of Willamette.
So we're here. I'm your host, Stephen Wilber. With me is Sliz Jones.
Slizzard.
She doesn't know that I've given her that nickname yet, but Sara Elizabeth Jones, of course, is going to be Sliz Jones.
Slizzard Jones. That's what they call me.
We're here under the haunted St. John's Bridge,
That's
the
right.
one bridge in Portland.
The only bridge in Bridgetown.
Yeah, it's
the
not
bridge.
Bridgestown.
It's Bridgetown.
It's Bridgetown.
And by bridge, specifically, they mean St. John's Bridge.
The one bridge.
And that's where we're located, and that is where our story takes place. So
Dominic Johansson, 35 years old, in 1975, saw the St. John's Bridge and said to himself, I'm going to kill myself there. 30 years later he did, and no one knows why.
And nor does he haunt this place.
No!
It's just a mundane
No,
detail.
he haunts the David Buster's in Beaverton.
Nobody likes that place. Management keeps changing. A lot of turnover.
And is that the effect of the ghost?
Was this...
No.
But is that
Poor
voice
health code.
supposed to be from, like, the Fabulous Life of Celebrities from VH1 back in the day?
You mean
When
like
Beyonce wants to take
like
a shit.
Robin Leach from Lifestyle?
No, it's that show on VH1 where he's like,
Oh,
she doesn't
yeah.
just go to a regular shitter, she shits on liquid gold.
She shits in Haley Joel Osment's mouth. It costs $20,000 a ton.
And it's nothing because she's fucking Beyonce. Do you want to know the scary stuff?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Welcome to Laughing in the
Welcome
Dark.
to Laughing
I'm your
in the
host,
Dark.
Sarah.
This is my host, Sara Jones. My name is Stephen Wilber. I am here to share a terrible tale. So we're here in Cathedral Park in Portland, Oregon. We're standing under the St. John's Bridge. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about residual hauntings. Are you familiar with this term?
What's the difference between residual hauntings and just hauntings?
Well, residuals, there's residue left behind, right? Like, do you have a simile?
like a ghost come.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A ghost came
Oh, like
on this bridge.
ectoplasm, like Slimer.
Exactly. The theory of residual haunting was originally made popular in the 60s by an anthropologist whose name was T.C. Lethbridge.
What did TC stand for?
I don't know, but we can speculate.
Tough cock.
It probably was tough cock.
Or,
If I were to guess, it was probably tough cock, or maybe like Trevor Connor.
tuberculosis chaser.
Yeah, probably tough cock.
Right, tough cock.
Okay, so Tough Cock Lethbridge, as a way to understand the paranormal and hauntings, he came up with a theory called residual haunting. His point was, okay, there's no question of whether or not people see ghosts, because they do. A lot of people have stories. There's a real question of what are they when they experience it. So one of his ways of describing why this could happen was residual haunting.
Like what a ghost is.
Right.
They're not just a person stuck around like hanging. It's just like the essence of a person, like a moment trapped in time.
Exactly. So it's...
Is that what you were going to say?
Actually, it's very
Sorry?
similar.
Well, that's
No,
been a
it's
joke.
perfect. So he feels that his idea of residual hauntings is that spirits are not physically present. They can't really interact with us, but they're more of an imprint left behind from a traumatic event. So people as they walk by who have some kind of a psychic ability, whether they recognize it or not, might play this video, so to speak, of a haunting. So that's his idea.
So is he saying that, but would that have to be the moment right when they died? Or is it just some sort of...
It's something that left an indelible mark. So some kind of experience in life that was so traumatic or so extreme that it left an imprint.
But then couldn't that happen before somebody died? Like somebody got like horribly beaten in a house and then moved on and lived like 30 years later.
But
like,
that haunting remains.
But like while they're still alive, could that just horrible like psychic event be haunting?
Maybe. Yeah, I think that would
place?
actually fit with his theory, actually.
Well, come on, get it together, tough cock.
So, well, because of the similarities between the stories that were told at Cathedral Park, where we are today, it's been suggested that St. John's Bridge could be the site of one such residual haunting. So this could be a vessel for a residual haunting.
Is it that one over there?
It's hard to say. I would imagine it's right there on the bridge, but
That
that's only
haunting?
me. It's somewhere on the bridge.
Which haunting is the one we're focusing on right now?
That one. He's actually not the first guy to come up with this theory.
Take that, TC.
As far back as 1908, Sir Oliver Lodge wrote a book called Man and the Universe, where he suggests that a haunted house...
Man.
Yeah, like, what's the difference?
Wait, so he was knighted?
Sir, yeah, I suppose he was.
Cool.
Yeah, Sir Oliver Lodge. He suggested that a haunted house may be photographing a past tragedy. So he didn't have the technology yet to have a video, but his idea was like a photograph of a haunting.
Wait, when was TC around?
This is in the 60s that TC came up with that book. So it had been a minute. So because of the similarities between the stories that people hear at this spot, they think that the St. John's Bridge could hold residual hauntings because multiple people have heard the same thing. And it's particularly on a summer night, a woman's voice can be heard screaming for help in a tone that is so chilling and so convincing that the police are regularly called to the scene, yet they find no one here.
Oh, that's Janet.
Well, it could be. Or it could be Thelma Anne Taylor.
Thelma Anne Taylor?
Yeah, not two people,
not
just
two
one.
people.
No,
Thelma
Anne T-A-T.
Okay.
Tat.
Tat.
You know Tat.
Well,
you will. You're about to know all about her.
Go on.
So it could be that her spirit still walks beneath this bridge, or it could be that her memory stays alive.
Does that mean
bridge.
in the water?
In the bridge.
She walks in the water?
Perhaps.
Or is she like walking? Because, listeners, we have not described this enough for you. The St. John's Bridge crosses a river, which is like a lake, but for
children.
it's a child's lake.
It's the Willamette.
It's
River.
the Willamette Lake for kids.
It's the Willamette Ocean.
So if she's haunting under the bridge, are we talking in the water? Are we talking directly under the bridge?
Well, the suggestion is that the memory lives within the actual physical bridge. But it could be that her spirit remains. You could ask her. She's probably here.
Oh, she's alive?
No, she's dead. But, I mean, her spirit may live on.
Oh, okay.
Which is why we're here.
Hey, yo, Tat.
Yo, Tat.
Yo, where Tat at?
We got a question for you, Tat. Rat-a-tat.
Pop, pop, pop.
This is extremely disrespectful.
Sure. Yep.
I'm sure she's
we are going to
not
get
happy.
flayed.
If not by Thelma, at least by the listener. This park, by the way, do you want? Is okay?
No, I got it.
This park was named for the Gothic arches of St. John's Bridge. That's why it's called Cathedral Park.
Because those look like a cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, if you're not familiar, you could Google this, or it'll be put in the notes of the show. The St. John's Bridge is actually, well, being the only bridge in Portland, it's also the prettiest by default.
Easily.
But it's got this sort of kind of like, if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh, this is a weird, like, Gothic moaning face.
Yeah, if any bridge was going to be haunted, it'd be this fucking bridge.
It'd be this one. Like, the way the arches look, it's like it's going, oh, why are all these cars going in my mouth? Like, it's a very bellowing.
You can hear it.
Yeah, like if an opera singer were being constantly choked by Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, like
you nailed it.
If you were to force feed Pavarotti,
yeah,
Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah, like monster trucks.
It
Hot
would
Wheels.
sound like the way the St. John's Bridge looks.
Yes. Oh my God. Perfect. Okay, so on August 5th of 1949.
Okay.
Are you there?
Thanks for clarifying. No, I was not there.
We'll get there. We're on August 5th of 1949.
Sure. I mean, I just wasn't there.
But now you are.
No, I'm still 2018.
Oh, shit.
My bad.
Well, it's going to ruin the whole story.
Do I need to spin around backwards like Superman?
You just need to believe.
Oh, okay.
Faith, trust, and pixie dust.
Okay, hold on. Wow,
We're here. Here we are.
I'm here in the 40s.
It's 1949.
Oh, wow. We haven't gone on the moon yet.
On August 5th of 1949,
49.
15-year-old Thelma Anne Taylor.
Oh, she was 15?
She was 15.
I've been checking her out this whole time.
You see her? Okay. She was waiting for a bus to go to Hillsborough for a summer job. In the 40s?
Cool.
They had the best buses. She was waiting for a bus to go to Hillsborough for a summer job. Some sources say the summer job was to pick beans. Other sources say berries. I'm team beans.
It's a war that has gone down, like... It's like at the point...
Are you a beans guy or a berries guy? That's the real question.
Here's the point. It's like Hatfields and the McCoys at this point. Like, people just say berries because that's what their dad said.
Right,
That's what their dad's dad said. And it's just like...
So think for yourself.
It's for being contrarian. Like, I just want to do it to argue. Yes. It was 100% berries. But you bean people are adorable.
I've done the research. I'm pretty sure she was a bean picking kind of gal.
Hey now.
This is an explicit podcast.
This is picking the bean.
It's not funny if she's 15.
What 15-year-old felt. Well, she's older now.
She's dead. She never got older than 15.
But I mean, it still counts.
Spoiler alert. Okay.
Flash forward to 1975 when she dies.
Well, Thelma isn't really part of this story.
The bean picking was a very important part of the story. And how it has split a town in two.
That's why we have North and South Portland.
Yeah. We're in a very, very lame civil war.
They call it the Beans and Berries War. B&B for short. Anyway, the reason she needed a job for the summer was to help her family financially. Just a little background on Thelma.
Not to buy,
Crack?
I wasn't going to say crack. I was going to say,
berries?
like, Buddy Holly tickets or something. I wasn't going to say.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were... Never mind.
Like, Buddy Holly's coming to Moda Center or whatever it was.
So, Thelma was teased in school for being skinny. She didn't... That's not nice.
Well, I mean, it's fine. It's about time.
Yeah, I've never known how that feels.
Fat shaming has gone too far. Uh-huh. It's about time somebody flipped the script.
Well, and in the 40s, they finally turned it around.
Yeah, time's a circle.
Yeah, that's true. She did not have many friends, and she was a sophomore at Roosevelt High School.
Probably because her fingers smelled of beans.
Yeah, she was... So you are team beans.
Oh, no, she just ate beans a lot.
That was an unrelated incident.
Yeah.
The beans incident of 47.
She ate a lot of beans. She didn't pick them. You don't take work home with you.
How do you pick beans? It seems like...
Exactly.
Conspiracy theory is cracked wide open. Okay, so anyway,
this is the worst episode you've ever had.
I love it.
And I know that because you've taped like 5 already that have not been released.
That's true. So while Thelma was waiting for the bus, she was stopped by a man named Morris Leland, who was a 22-year-old ex-convict.
Hubba hubba.
When I told this story to Posse, he said that Morris Leland was the most 40s sounding convict name ever.
It totally
and
is.
He was totally right. The Morris Leland here, see? You're gonna come with me, see?
Morris Leland, you've stolen your last chicken.
Yeah, he was a chicken stealer. So Morris takes Thelma to a spot by the Willamette River.
Was he driving a bus?
No, he picked her up by the bus.
He was like, hey,
he just walked up there. He was like a transient.
He was like, I got a free chicken.
He was like the 40s equivalent of like a crust punk today. Like he just walked up to her and was like, what's up? I hang out under bridges. Come with me. And Thelma was like, okay.
I got a lot of cool ideas. I got this dog.
Cool ideas. I have a face tattoo.
Morris Leland.
This person.
Oh, Cooper's calling.
No, that's the person from Tinder.
From Tinder? No, let's bring him up.
I just declined the call. Should I call him back?
Call him back.
Oh, God. Okay. I've never talked to him before. Okay.
We're on, so she got a Tinder date going on earlier.
It's supposed to happen after this episode.
But then he...
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Did you just call me?
Yes, I was calling you.
Hi.
You go first.
Okay.
Good.
I am in the middle of recording an episode with a comedian right now.
Cooper, hello! Stephen Wilber here.
How you doing?
Pretty good. It's a little rainy. We're haunted by ghosts, but all in all...
But
But you're laughing in the dark. That's all that
that's
matters.
true. He's crying. He's been crying this whole time.
I've been smirking a little.
You're in the episode, Cooper. You're being recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This counts as your release.
So, where did you bury those kids?
Well, apartments.
Cooper, where did you bury those little kids?
I would never to kids.
You would
No.
never bury them? You just leave them dead on the
No,
ground?
only being picky bitches that had it coming.
Well, the main reason I was calling is because I'm still at work, but
Okay.
I'm about to be off soon, and whenever
He's about
you're
to be
done,
off
we
soon.
can still meet up, grab a drink.
Yeah, okay, no, that sounds good. So I will text you when we're done with this episode. It's taking forever because Steven won't shut the fuck up.
Oh, well, Steven sounds like a great time.
He's a great time. I love you. Don't get mad.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, yeah, just let me know, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Have fun, you guys. Nice meeting you, Steven.
Nice to meet you too, baby murderer.
I think that first date's gonna go great. Where were we? Morris Leland.
Morris Leland.
Okay, Morris Leland picked up Thelma waiting for the bus and convinced her to come right where we're standing right now.
What? No!
Right here.
No!
Yes,
How
sir.
dare you?
Yes,
How
sir.
dare you?
Yes,
How
sir.
dare you?
Yes, we
How
did.
dare you?
Yes, we did.
Why would you do
Right
that?
in this spot.
Why would you trick me? You said it was
What did you
across the river.
No, it was right here. This is the spot.
Where this finger is?
Yes, where this body is. All of these bodies. It's
Oh,
this same spot.
If Cooper were here, he'd bury them all.
Alive.
Cooper.
If Cooper was here, they wouldn't all be this dead. But they'd be a lot more raped. Take that out.
Chris, keep that in. Chris, keep that one in. Keep that one in,
You know
Chris.
my producer. Oh God. Okay. This is not going to be good. This is going to be a lot of work in
We
editing.
need to redo this.
Where were we? Okay.
Cooper's a murderer.
On August 5th of 1949, 15-year-old Thelma Anne Taylor was waiting for a bus to go to Hillsborough, where she wanted to pick up a bus to go to her summer job.
Which was either picking beans
Or picking berries. It depends on what side of Portland you live on.
It's the most popular game in Portland at the time. Beans or berries.
So while Thelma was waiting for the bus, she was stopped by Morris Leland, a 22-year-old ex-convict.
Do you know what he was in previously for?
I do. So he was mainly a convict for theft. So he mainly
Stealing
petty
hearts.
theft. Mainly he was stealing hearts.
And the brains of women.
And brains. And livers. But it depends on who you ask. It depends on what side of Portland you live. If you're a beans guy, you probably think he ran the gamut. If you're a berries guy...
If you're a beans guy, you probably think he took kidneys.
Oh, that would make sense. Waka waka. Okay, so... Morris Leland took Thelma Anne Taylor to the spot by the Willamette River where we were just sitting. Leland held Thelma here overnight. Now, again, different sources say different things about...
trapped,
the bridge.
like tied up, or...
It doesn't say if he had her tied up, but I think he had her threatened that she couldn't leave.
Just under the bridge.
Under
like
the
with
bridge,
people...
like where we're standing right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right.
So the actual court documents say that Leland attempted to rape her, but stopped after realizing she was a virgin.
Oh, what a nice guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say...
And they say chivalry is dead.
It's not because he was a nice guy, even though that's what everyone would totally think. He said, I was scared because she was a good girl and would make trouble with the police. So he just didn't want to get in trouble. It had nothing to do with any kind of moral choice. That morning, Thelma heard workers switching train cars at the nearby train yard. You can see the train tracks. How far away are the train tracks from where we're standing right now?
Like half a foot.
That's further than that. But it's like...
2 feet.
It's like...
even raining.
40 feet? Oh, it's not even raining anymore. It is. It's like 40 feet, right?
Yeah, it's pretty far.
30 feet? That's
35. Let's split
it's
the
about
difference.
37 feet.
Whoa, okay.
So Thelma was standing here. She heard workers switching train cars at a nearby train, the train yard right there. And she started screaming, thinking that someone's going to come and help her. So Morris freaked out and struck her on the head with a steel bar.
So wait, was he staying there just overnight?
He stayed with her here overnight.
They just pulled... Okay.
So he pulled her away from the bus, kept her here overnight. She started screaming in the morning at the people getting off the train tracks. And Leland struck her on the head with a steel bar, then stabbed her twice with a knife, killing her. Just to, like, make sure the deed was done, I think. I think that he, like, freaked out and, like, hit her on the head to, like, shut her up. And then she was dying, and he just stabbed her to, like, put her out of her misery. That's what I think happened.
I don't.
What do you think?
I think he wanted to stab her all like that was the goal.
Well, but she was a virgin. So now he has to stab her with a knife.
Stab her with it. Oh, grow up. No.
Coin 6 reports that the reason he killed her was because she refused his advances. I think that seems like an oversimplification.
No, it's because she screamed.
It's because she screamed, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess none of us know.
We don't know, but that's what I speculate. Thelma is here, listening to us. After Leland...
she is at least subscribed to Laughing in the Dark.
So, after Leland killed Thelma, he threw the knife and the steel bar in the Willamette, wiped his fingerprints off of her lunch pail.
Oh, no!
I know.
That's the worst.
I know. Her lunch pail.
You didn't even say she had a lunch.
She had a lunch?
That's the
You thought
worst.
she was just going to eat beans?
Yes!
She has to leave work at work. On break, she has to eat her lunch.
Don't take your work home with you. That's what they always say.
Yeah, that's true. So,
wiped.
yeah, he wiped his fingerprints, gathered his cigarette butts, and buried her body under a pile of driftwood.
The old Cooper.
So 5 days later, Leland is arrested for stealing a car. Just back to his old
Bitch.
His old dirty tricks.
That's goofball.
Right when they arrested him, he freaked out and confesses to kidnapping and murdering Thelma Taylor. Leland was not even...
Yes, but what about the car?
They're like, okay. He actually wasn't even suspected of murder, but he blurted out his confession anyway.
Okay.
I think because honestly, I really don't think he meant to kill her. I think he freaked out when she was screaming and like hit her on the head and then stabbed her.
Right.
I'm not Team Leland. I'm not defending it.
You like Bean and Leland. They're always hand in hand.
Yeah, they are. Bean and Leland. I know what you mean. And by that I mean I don't.
On the Team Barry team, Leland's a monster side. It's like we feel more rational.
Well, actually, okay, so this is
like,
why...
I just want to trap you in my basement. Oh, no, you're trying to get out of the basement. Haha, take that. Like,
yeah, I guess
happens.
that's true. I don't know what he was trying to do with her in the first place.
I do. You said, but then...
Yeah. And I don't say that in a way to defend him. I say it because I think he's like a little bitch. Because
also, if he wasn't going to assault her because she was a virgin and he wasn't intending on killing her, he would have just let her go.
Yeah.
So he was planning on killing her.
Yeah, maybe. He'd never killed someone before, though.
That we know of.
And he blurted out a confession, which makes me think that he was like, sorry. Like... So
license and registration. Oh, I killed a lady.
yeah, seriously. So that's what. So then he led the police to the driftwood pile where he buried Thelma.
And she wasn't there.
No, she was there.
Oh, okay.
And this is a weird detail that I have, but I feel like it really humanizes Thelma. She was wearing Levi's jeans and a plaid shirt.
The classic.
The classic. She could still be a hipster in Portland today.
Change.
They don't.
And her lunch pail was full of
not
voodoo
fingerprints.
donuts.
So all she had in her lunch pail was voodoo donuts, and she put a bird on it.
She was buried in an IPA.
After Leland confessed to murder and brought police to the body, he then tried to plead guilty by reason of insanity. And that's why I think he's a punk bitch. Because He freaked out and confessed, and then tried to back his way out of it by being like, oh, I'm crazy, I don't know. Which, no, you know what you did. That's why you confessed as quickly as you did.
Hey, Insanity 101.
Right.
No one's like, I'm insane.
I know I'm crazy. Yeah, they're all just like, look at Charles Manson. Morris Leland had a long trial with several unsuccessful appeals, but was eventually...
Long trial?
3.5 years long. He was eventually convicted of murder and sentenced to death. He died in a gas chamber at the Oregon State Penitentiary on January 9th of 1953. So like I said before, the St. John's Bridge has this idea of a residual haunting that might exist within the bridge. So on a summer's night, people will hear Thelma's voice yelling, help me, someone help me. And they hear it so convincingly that they call the police.
Is it like a, help me, somebody help me?
I don't know.
Or is it like a, help me. Or is it...
Wait, maybe if we listen, we can hear it.
It's not summer.
You're right. Yeah, I don't think it works in April.
Probably shouldn't have done this at all.
We probably should just cancel the show.
Also, I think there's a dude up there.
Where?
For listeners, I'm looking up at the St. John's Bridge.
It's really pretty under the stars, actually.
Shut up. Chris cut out me to meaning a woman. Or is that a guy? Or is that like like something blowing in the breeze up on that little...
Where?
You see up on that little balcony area? Up under the bridge? Up, like
on the left?
Yeah.
That does look like a person. They moved.
That's what I'm saying.
Why are they standing in the corner?
Listeners, we are looking at a person
standing on the bridge.
Standing on the bridge. They have, they're Caucasian.
You don't know that. How can you tell that from here?
Come
Assuming.
on, we're in Portland. So what have we learned today about the life of Thelma Taylor?
Well, we know for certain that she was a bean picker.
We know she had a lunch pail.
We know but there were no fingerprints found.
You have to love Steven Wilber. He is like a living cartoon character. Check him out on Twitter and Instagram at Wilber with an E. So that's actually at WILBERWITHANE. I hope you loved your tour through the gorgeous and haunted Cathedral Park of Portland, Oregon. If you haven't already, check us out on social media at LitDark Podcast. That's LITDARK Podcast. And take a look at our website while you're at it, litdarkpodcast.com. Keep an eye out for LitDark merchandise coming soon. Special thanks for this episode goes to Sara Schneider, not only my show manager, but my entire life manager. Jonathan Cooper, my graphic designer. Chris Finster, my producer. Dan Stutzman for being you in all that you do. Nick Wilson and everyone at Bridge City Sessions. Steven Wilber, my guest. And all of you for listening. Thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Tell your friends, tell your family, like, share, whatever. We really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is also brought to you by Otis's Taint Salve. Hey everyone, Steven Wilber here. Is your taint not as resilient as it used to be?
I know mine isn't.
It might as well be like playing an upright bass with yarn for strings. It's so floppy. That's why I switched to Otis's Taint Salve.
And now what is your taint like?
Oh man, it's like old Brando. It's like it's tight and it's right.
Ooh.
It's as resilient as Sheik in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah. That's exactly how you want your taint to be.
Use promo code Taint in the Dark to get 10% off your first order.
Listen for our branch off podcast, Taint in the Dark.
Taint in the Dark.